We're asking the wrong questions about the teacher who was reportedly fired for having a group of girls take down his braids in class. We're watching this video and we're asking, are his intentions pure and is this too intimate? But those are the wrong questions to ask because we can only answer them after somebody's been harmed. The questions we need to be asking are, what is being normalized by this interaction? And what feelings might this interaction be causing in a child? As a youth development professional, your intentions are irrelevant when you realize your job is to model behavior that can and should be replicated by other people in your position. So what is being normalized by this interaction is being live streamed. Physical touch and proximity. And it's being normalized not only for the young people, but for everybody watching. And that's important. At best, this interaction creates a foundation for something called transference. Transference is when feelings and desires get projected from one person to another based on past relationships and unmet needs. Transference can create feelings for a kid that are inappropriate and unproductive for a teacher-student relationship. So a young person who has unmet needs for affection, attention, and validation might project feelings of admiration onto an adult who just introduced physical touch into their relationship. That, in and of itself, makes a young person more vulnerable to harm when those inappropriate expectations aren't met. If those inappropriate expectations are met, or if they take those same boundaries into relationships with other adults. Inviting physical touch into a teacher-student relationship creates fertile ground for grooming. That's the process a predator uses to build trust and emotional connection with a young person they intend to manipulate, exploit, or harm. They might use attention, affection, guidance, and special treatment to fill an emotional need from a kid's life. Then they'll desensitize a young person to physical touch and sexual topics, starting small and building up. All the while, they're testing their boundaries to see how far they can push before a young person resists or someone speaks up. The entire time, there's plausible deniability. The point is to slowly push the boundaries and make everybody involved question whether or not their suspicions are warranted. The kid, the parents, the people around the kid. So if something doesn't feel right, but you just can't put your finger on why, or it doesn't seem like a big deal. If it seems like a gray area, but just not big enough to speak up about, that's the point. Making people question their own instincts means the victim and the audience are groomed or prepared for the next step. So how can you tell the difference between someone who's unknowingly creating the conditions where transference might occur and someone who is grooming a young person and the people around them for abuse? You can't. If you could, kids would be a lot safer. There are people who will say that this sort of interaction is necessary to build culturally responsive relationships in school. It's not. Cultural relevance and appropriateness come from the respect that teachers have for young people, the content they present, and the way they present that content in culturally responsive ways. There are 100 activities this teacher could have used to engage his entire class in culturally relevant bonding instead of having a handful of girls take down his braids. It would have been more effective, more inclusive, and help build their bonds toward one another in ways that are going to benefit their classroom. But he had an appointment to make, so he put his needs first. So in this video, I see a teacher normalizing the idea that his students will provide care for him using physical touch. It provides no benefit to the student-teacher relationship that couldn't be achieved in more effective ways. And if we let it slide, it provides a much wider gray area for people who intend to harm kids. Couple that with the fact that he has another video where he answers the students' questions about whether he prefers a pretty face or a big butt. Another video where he comments on the girl's size. And another video where he shows that he can be alone with students for a prolonged period of time. And it feels like we're being led down a path of escalating inappropriateness and desensitization. It feels like young people are being taught to accept standards in an adult-child relationship that will put them at risk in the future. It feels like professional negligence or grooming. I can't tell which, but it doesn't matter. It's unacceptable.